Very, very welcome to Supermarket and Warhol Minutes.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
Sally
having
and
us.
Cailin, and you work collaboratively most of the time?
Yes, we work as Plowman and Cummins.
Maybe I should ask you to hold the little microphone and
Yes.
whoever speaks. Yeah,
We can fight.
that'd
We
be
can
good.
fight
Yeah,
over it.
Lovely, thank you.
Perfect.
Yes. So, tell me about the gallery first of all.
So Blackwater Polytechnic is kind of a fictional university based in East Anglia in the UK, which is where we're from, and it's run by our friend Ben Cood Adams, and so it kind of like it collects together artists whose work is in some way linked to East Anglia and the landscape of East Anglia, and also it's quite a loose connection, there's quite a lot of things going on, but so we are connected to the Grange Projects, which is artist residency in Norfolk, which is in East Anglia, and so we were invited by them to come to Supermarket with, it's all quite UK artists networks kind of thing,
And
Super.
big collaboration, all of our work put into this space.
And how did you two start working together?
we met a long time ago at art
The
school.
year was
2018. 2018 is when I started, so that's probably when we met.
2018. We went to art school together
In London.
in London,
Which art school did you go to?
the Slade School of Fine Art.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
What discipline?
well, I was in the sculpture class, but I don't think I ever made any sculpture.
And I was in media.
You did.
I don't think I made a single thing the whole time I was there.
Really?
Which
really.
did a lot of talking about things.
A lot of
and then,
talking, and then after we left, we
Did you
What-
you made the right connection. Then.
Yeah.
made the right connection. We were in a clown group with another person
Yeah.
called Hotwood, and so we were doing this sort of like running some workshops and clowning as a trio around London, and then
How did that start, and how was clowning received at the art school?
Yeah, so that was mostly, I mean, what I was doing, I guess, was kind of clowning, but I wasn't thinking about it in the clowning kind of sphere. I wasn't thinking about what I was doing as clowning, whereas Sally was doing a lot of clowning, or was very interested in clowning, and so she introduced me to kind of the discipline and the kind of what it means and how it works and everything. So I guess you were doing it at the Slade.
I did a really, really bad mime show.
No, it was brilliant.
That was brilliant. And then was just having lots of conversations with people about clowns and like what clowns are and what it means to clown. And then I was doing a workshop with this amazing London-based clown called John Davison. He's really fantastic, and that changed my life. And then I was trying to integrate clowning with like a fine art practice, which is quite difficult.
What is your clown act like? Do you have connections to Commedia dell'arte, or is it more
We have-
literal?
I guess we have connections to like contemporary clown and also like kind of Marx Brothers slapstick.
Yeah, we're interested in like clowning canon or like slapstick canon, thinking about like, you know, the greats of slapstick, so like the Marx Brothers and like Jacques Tati and Charlie Chaplin and people like that, but then kind of thinking about that in the context of modern clowning, which is often very like character driven, or like exists in a kind of narrative, exists in a kind of like different, those two things exist in quite different spaces, and we're interested in kind of maybe the both of them or how they kind of relate to each other. So maybe not Commedia dell'arte, I think maybe that's too beautiful. I think what we do is not maybe, well maybe it's beautiful. But
Clowning has, though, gone into a different shape in popular culture presently, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think people are often, when I talk about clowning, or people are like, oh, clowns are scary, or think about clowns as like, for a very long time we didn't paint our faces or wear red noses because we didn't want that kind of like direct association with maybe like the idea of a clown, which is more about the makeup than it is about the behaviour.
And I think also because we're thinking a lot about gender when we're
Yeah.
working, and like the canon of the clown is very masculine. The way that clown schools are run, and
Yeah.
the way that like the clown
Community.
or like how people are taught to clown is like
Yeah.
very to do with, it's almost to do with like punishment or something.
Yeah.
And it has this
It's
very
really, like,
masculine.
sadomasochistic.
Yeah, and so I think that was also our resistance
Yeah.
towards like being more traditional, and now we're
Yeah.
trying to like go there.
Yeah, or think about how to be clowns in a way that is like political.
Political, and also in an art context.
Yeah. I think that's kind of really interesting as well. I mean, we do a lot of performance in kind of wherever they'll have us. So we do like comedy spaces, we do gallery spaces, we do like kind of random stuff like
Poetry
events and hairdressing salons and all kinds of different things. But I think we're trying to find the place that is like the place for us, or like the place that feels kind of like a mashup of all those things. Maybe. I mean, this is pretty close. This is good. Yeah.
And the routine you did just an hour ago, how would you describe it
God, that's a
for
good
the
question.
viewers who haven't seen you yet?
There's a description on the website.
Really,
that's quite
really good. Kind of experimental, funny, great costumes, really hot performers.
What was the message? What was the subject
Yeah,
matter?
so there's a really good description. I think we wrote it. I think you wrote it probably. That we.
It's
had.
kind of about the intersection between hyperfemininity and slapstick, and kind of taking everyday vignettes and abstracting them so that it kind of highlights the ridiculousness of everyday life, especially with like etiquette and gender and sexuality and the things that we talk about and experience in our lives.
Yeah.
And also things that we think about when we see other performers and we think,
Yeah.
wow, that's but yeah, just trying to push against those things and using humour, because that's like the most powerful and uniting thing, is like when you're all in a room and you're breathing the same air and you're laughing, is like such a powerful experience.
Yeah, I think a big part of clowning is like looking the audience in the eye, or like being very kind of like they're reading you but you're reading them as equally. So I think a kind of our performance is about performance in a way. Like we're thinking about what the nature, what it means to be a performance artist, or what it means to be a clown, and how do those things. How does that change the way you interact with the audience, or how does that change the way the audience perceive you, what kind of sphere you're operating within?
That's very interesting. I was going to ask if you had performed before a refugee audience, and then I thought maybe I should instead ask, have you performed in for an all-male audience?
No, I probably not. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Why'd you ask?
Well, I just found it be really interesting to see the interaction or the non-interaction about a male. I mean, obviously I think refugees and children would be more acceptable, and you'd find more of a universal language to communicate within. But then an all-male audience, preferably all male artists, what would that be like?
God,
The enemy.
that would be great.
We do have an art club in Stockholm, only male artists.
Really?
Really? How do we join?
Unfortunately, I left the club.
Oh.
So
Damn, you can't get us in.
might have some connections still.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing how the audience changes, like, because I think we perform in a lot of like queer spaces, which I guess like have
You say queer spaces?
which I guess has
Right.
more of a exposure to like drag or like cabaret in kind of a different way, and like I think the audiences see much more like, this is like normal and ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But sometimes if we're in more of a like, I don't know, different audiences change. It really changes things, which is quite an obvious thing to say, but
Yeah. I think also time of day.
if people are hungry.
Yeah, lots of things. Lots of things.
How were you received today?
Well, I think. I mean, it's difficult. 12:30 p.m. in the art fair.
Yeah.
It's a hard sell, I think. But I think we did a good job.
Yeah, and I think we are trying to think about it less in a kind of pure comedy way.
Yeah.
And more in a kind of creating a bit more than that, and not feeling like, oh my god, no one's laughing, this is the end of the world.
Yeah, because things can be beautiful as well, like we're quite interested in like moments of beauty, or like and the juxtaposition between like that and the comedy, or like weaving those things together makes the other more powerful.
Yeah, and also just like being present in a space with other people.
Presence is very important.
Of course.
Yeah.
And which next art context will you be performing in?
Really good point.
Yeah.
We're working on a play with that's written and directed by a couple of other people, which is about the horses that escaped in London in April 2024. I don't know if this made global news, but it was
big news in the UK.
Global within the UK.
Yeah, big news. What should I say? It's like 2 horses escaped from Horse Guards Parade, so they're the king's horses, I guess.
Oh, no.
And they were startled by building work and escaped from the stables and ran through the streets of London. There was actually 5 horses, but
only 2 made it out.
Only 2 important. And they were kind of running for quite a while, and then they got caught, and one of them ran into a bus. It was all quite dramatic. It was big news. We're doing a play about that. Written by Lola Gills-Creasy and Charlie Goodall, and it's going to be in June or July in London.
At the horse hospital.
Oh, with the horses, sorry, I thought that
with the horses.
We're going to be the horses.
I was going to ask, And where will you be performing this?
The Horse Hospital, which is an old Victorian horse hospital in London.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's really amazing space. There's like quite a lot of good things happen there, and there's like in the floor there's channels where the blood of the horses would flow when they were being operated on. Yeah. So it's quite a powerful space to do stuff horse related in. I think.
It's just wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming to Supermarket and having a chat with me here.
Thank
Cailin,
you
for having us.
Sally.
What a lovely foiled space.
Enjoy
that.
Thank you.